Hello, everyone. My name is John Michael Velasquez, and I'm a sophomore computer science student at the University of Arkansas from Carrollton, Texas. The painting I chose is located in the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas. The piece is called Paris at Twilight and was painted by Childe Hassam in 1887. Hassam studied in Paris from 1886 to 1889, where he was an oddity because he came to like and imitate French Impressionism. He quickly became recognized for his talent and ability to depict light and reflections, and was extremely skilled at it. Paris at Twilight is significant because it shows an average night on an average city street corner in Paris. The fact that there is nothing significant historically about this street corner is one of the most significant characteristics of Childe Hassam. He liked to paint average everyday life. Hassam's most prominent work, other than Paris at Twilight, would most likely be Avenue of the Allies, Great Britain, which was an oil painting showing the dozens of flags hanging on buildings on Fifth Avenue in New York City in support of the Allied World War I effort. Hassam was unique among American painters because he primarily painted like French Impressionists instead of his fellow American acquaintances. Paris at Twilight is impressive for many reasons, one of them notably being how the texture of the painting makes the viewer feel as though they're actually on a foggy Parisian street corner at dusk. The painting could best be described as being naturalistic due to the mostly realistic depictions of things as we see them in real life. Hassam uses analogous hues to almost relax the viewer and display how calm and quiet everything is this evening in Paris. The painting clearly uses one-point perspective in order to make the viewer feel as if he or she is actually where the artist was standing, and this is apparent due to the foreshortened objects in the distance that are smaller than the objects closer to the viewer. Hassam is able to depict light and reflections so realistically by using lighter hues, almost a dull white-orange color that embellishes the object that's supposed to be reflecting light. Hassam's skill with this technique is one of the things that made him such a prominent Impressionist painter, as one of the primary features of Impressionist painting was an accurate and realistic depiction of light. Paris at Twilight is an autobiographical approach to art, as seen from the perspective of the artist Childe Hassam. Hassam spent the majority of his adulthood in Boston, New York, and Paris, and his painting reflects his love of life in these large cities. The piece captures everything that would be commonplace in 19th century Paris, with random pedestrians and a parked horse-drawn carriage next to what appears to be a cafe. The cafe coincidentally also happens to be the center of attention of the pedestrians in the painting, and the main source of light on the street. This is representing the understanding that humans are social creatures that like being around the company of others, and in the past when technology was considerably less developed than it is now, places like cafes and pubs were the main meeting places of most people. The painting also ushers a sense of calm over the viewer, as the hazy texture makes it seem like a relaxed, foggy break from the rain in a cloudy, rainy day in Western Europe. Hassam emphasizes this atmosphere by somewhat obscuring the spectator's view of the horse and carriage by painting a fine, dusty layer of white and blue, which are both relaxing colors to the eye, over them. Childe Hassam is one of the most prominent 19th century American Impressionist painters, and keeping with that theme is Paris at Twilight. It's classified as an Impressionist painting. The Impressionists were essentially artists who expanded on the concepts of realism. They were more focused on properties of light, such as reflections and shadows, and on how to incorporate these into their artwork meaningfully. Hassam strays away from using shadows for the most part in this particular piece, but his fascination with the reflections of light, as it's reflected from different sources, is apparent. Hassam was clearly influenced by paintings like Absinthe by Edgar Degas, who is a prominent French Impressionist painter. This painting displays telltale Impressionist concepts like clear shadows behind the two main characters and light reflecting off of the glass bottles they're drinking out of. Unlike Degas, however, Hassam didn't try to display the darker, more depressing side of humanity and liked to paint insignificant displays of everyday city life, as well as painting uplifting, motivating pieces like Avenue of the Allies, Great Britain. In essence, Paris at Twilight draws upon a lot of the major themes in Claude Monet's Impression Sunrise. Monet also displays the prime aspects of Impressionism, though much more obviously than the majority of other painters. It's apparent that he's trying to display how the warm glow of the sun contrasts with the cold paleness of the water and the dark fogginess of the dense forest in the distance, in his painting Impression Sunrise. I chose to research this piece because the word Paris caught my eye, and it looked like a painting of the city unlike any others I'd ever seen. I've been to Paris and can imagine these street corners as they were 150 years ago on a chilly evening in fall. In addition to this, Impressionism was always an artistic style I've enjoyed, as I can recognize what is going on in the pieces. I like realistic and representational art. Impressionism also has many prominent artists and was a fairly recent movement, so hearing popular household names like Monet and Renoir attracted me to the piece as well. In addition to this, Hassam was an artist I've never heard of, and his name sounded Arabic or Middle Eastern to me, which I thought was extremely interesting as the painting was clearly Impressionist. Finding out that he was in fact American was very surprising, and on top of that he was a fairly prominent American artist that painted in the style of the French Impressionists. Hassam's skillful representation of light and his depiction of a quiet street corner in one of the busiest cities in the world made Paris at Twilight one of the most incredible pieces of art I've ever seen.